Hey, I'm Wes Riojas. I'm a local roofer here in Dallas Fort Worth, and today I'm going to be talking about 2 insurance pitfalls to watch out for in 2025. Now, before I dive into that, let me just tell you a little bit about my story. I became a roofing contractor when a close family member of mine, they had to pull out almost $20,000 out of their life savings just to replace their roof. And this was regardless of the fact that they had been paying in premiums into their insurance for decades. I didn't think it was right, so I stepped up and I wanted to make a difference, and I became an advocate for homeowners just like you. So let's get started with this video. This may be one of the most important videos that I ever make, so grab a paper, grab a pen, and what I want you to first write down is 2 words: risk transfer. Now, what does that mean? Risk transfer is the definition for insurance. And as a homeowner, when you sign up for insurance, you get a policy, it transfers that risk that was on you, the risk of a loss, over to the insurance carrier. So 2025 is around the corner. What's also around the corner too, we're in DFW, right? We're in a corridor of hailstorms that hit. The primary time for those hailstorms is March through May. So you want to spend time now to make sure that you are prepared with your insurance, because it's not a matter of if it's going to hit you, but when. Now, you may not remember the last time you've been hit by hail or your house was hit by hail. You may not even remember that, but it's not a matter of if, it's when. And when it happens, the question is, who's going to pay for it? Hey, you might be saying, Wes, I already have insurance, I'm good. The thing is, most people actually feel that way. In reality, you might be vulnerable to a huge financial setback and you may not even realize it. So now's the time. That's why we're doing the homework. We're digging in. Let's take a look at these pitfalls. Pitfall number 1, rising deductibles. The thing is, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, the 1% deductible, it's going away. Now, as a matter of fact, I saw a recent article on Dallas Morning News. I'm old, I printed it off, but I wanted to read the headline. It says, many insurance companies are raising their homeowners' deductibles from 1 to 2%. Look, there's a lot of talk about this already. It may have already happened to you, but in 2025, a lot are saying that all the carriers are going to be switching over to 2% deductible. And now that leads me to a common misunderstanding that homeowners, policyholders have when it comes to the deductible. Many folks believe that deductible is 1% of an insurance claim. That's incorrect. That's not correct at all. You know, that could be harmful because if the claim is $20,000, 1% of that is $200. Not that big of a deal. In reality, the deductible, it is a percentage of the cost to rebuild your home today. If your home was leveled and you rebuilt it. The average home in DFW, the cost of the home they built in DFW in 2023 was $425,000. 1% of that is $4,250. So that going from 1% to 2% bumps it up to $8,500. That's a big deal. So I know what you're thinking about deductible. You might be saying, Wes, I've never paid deductible. I've never paid a deductible to put on a roof. It's not an issue. Just like the 1% deductible going away, the ability to hire a roofer who's going to eat that deductible, that's going to go away as well. Because as these deductible percentages go up, the thing is, it's going to be very difficult for these roofers to do that. Now, are there roofers who are doing it? Sure. But the thing is, you want to remember, is cheap is expensive. In order for them to eat the deductible, there's a couple of things that pretty much always has to happen. One, you're going to get the cheapest materials. You're not going to get anything that's going to hold up over time on the roof. That's a way for them to save money. 2, they're going to skip out on some components. There's going to be things that you can't see or realize they didn't replace. That saves the contractor money as well. 3rd, they're going to only be able to hire very unskilled labor. Okay, the workmanship is also going to be poor. That's going to lead to leaks into the home And it's going to be a multiplier effect of how much that's going to cost you. The final thing when you hire a roofer that's going to eat the deductible is a warranty. Going back to the workmanship. The thing is, even with the best workmanship, best materials, best scenario all around, look, you're putting a roof on and you may not know there's a leak and it may not show itself for some time. And when you've hired the cheap guy, the cheap company, and you call them, they're not there, there's no warranty. You call your insurance and they say, look, we only cover direct physical loss from a date, and from a certain peril, okay? They don't cover when there's workmanship issues. All of that would be on you. So don't forget, cheap is expensive. The other thing too, let me just paint a scenario here. So let's say someone comes to you and says, hey, we know that you're looking for a car for your daughter to go to college in, and you're around $30,000 range. That's your budget, right? You say yes. And they go, hey, we have a deal for you. Okay, look, what we're going to do, we have a $30,000 car, but all you have to pay us is $5,000. We'll actually pay the rest. Now, would you do it? Who wouldn't? Of course you would, right? Well, that's what the deductible is. So that's just the portion of a loss that is for the homeowner. The thing is, the truth of the matter is, let's talk about our savvy homeowners, okay? Our savvy homeowners understand these things. And what they do, a couple of things that they do to prepare for this is, one, they create a fund, and every month they're putting a little bit of money aside every month in the event that when they do get hit by that hailstorm, that event happens, they'll have a portion, if not all, of their deductible ready to go. Now, that may not be true for everybody. That may not be an option for everybody. The secondary option that savvy homeowners have is financing the deductible. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, whoa, Wes, I'm not going to finance my roof. Okay, I totally understand. At one time, people paid the full cost of a car. They went and got a car, they paid for the whole car. Cars, technology changed, things changed. It got to where they couldn't pay for a car, they started having to finance vehicles. And now that's the common thing. Things are changing today. It's not sexy to say that you're financing your roof, but it's the reality with rising costs in construction. Everything is going up. Everything's getting more expensive. That's what we're talking about. It's just the reality today. So you get an opportunity to finance the deductible, and you get to pay it off monthly with very low payments. But you want to take care of these things in the right way. Okay, so that's pitfall number one. Now let's go ahead and move on. Pitfall number two. Insurance carriers moving policies away from RCV to ACV. Now they're doing this also to save money, but what does it mean? Let's start with ACV. It actually means actual cost value. This is the original insurance policy back when insurance was invented. And the way it worked was insurance was going to pay for your loss minus the depreciated value. So if you had a $20,000 roof and 10 years go by, it gets hit by hail, it needs to be replaced, they're not going to pay. Insurance is not going to pay $20,000. They're going to pay what the value is at that later date, $10,000, something like that, right? And so insurance is saving money by switching their policies from RCV to ACV. Now let's talk about RCV. That's replacement cost value. This is what you want. This is where insurance does pay the full replacement of the loss. So these are newer policies. Insurance said, look, if we charge higher premiums, we'll cover the full replacement. And what you want to do, our savvy homeowners, what they do is they call their insurance to make sure that they are covered RCV. Now, what you have to understand is even if you have an RCV policy, you need to know the age of your roof. If your roof is plus 10 years old, at some point your insurance could switch you from RCV to ACV and you wouldn't even be aware of that. Okay, so they do that because, remember, risk transfer, you transferred that risk to insurance. As your roof gets older, that risk transfers back to you. So for a lot of folks, as soon as there is if you have a valid claim on hail on your roof, don't wait, file it, okay? And that also leads to a very common Another common misunderstanding is the roof life. So you're probably thinking, Wes, I have a 30-year roof, I'm good. Well, that's from the manufacturer's definition. But insurance doesn't really care about that. Okay, they're just saying, how long is this roof really going to last? And we don't want to be insuring something that's so far beyond that its age that we're going to be at a greater risk. So make sure that if your roof is getting up there in age, you have a valid claim. Get it taken care of while that risk is with the insurance. Because if it comes back to you, okay, that is again using $20,000. Do you want to pay $20,000 for your roof or the deductible at $5,000 or whatever those numbers? I would rather want to pay the portion, that smaller portion, than have to pay it in full. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that it was super helpful. If you have any questions about this topic or anything, shoot me a text. My number is 817-303-9664. Just give me a call. If you have any questions about your roof, you have any things you want me to look at in that regard, just reach out. Also, please, if you like the video, hit the like button, share it out, and please subscribe to this channel. I'm going to continue putting together great content just like this, as well as podcast. And so thank you so much for watching. See you next time.